So we got the cross member done. We got it bolted in there. It's not finished. There's some more brackets need to be welded to it, but we don't know exactly where they go. So the next step is to put the links on that we know where they are. We don't know where they are, but we put them there, and that's the next thing. So we're gonna be building the links out of these joints. We're using Johnny joints, and we're using these dual durometer rubber ends. I really like these because they isolate the road noise. So I put one of these on one end, left-handed, and right-handed, I do the Johnny joint. Let's get to it. So next we're gonna bolt the cross member on underneath here and probably bolt it on for good for a while anyway. And then we'll figure out the length of the control arms we need from there. After we cut off all the stuff on the front axle that the old stuff was attached to. And we can start building the new stuff. Take that, Tucker. See how nice that was? Ball peen would have never done that.
What's wrong with a slag hammer?
People hate this one more. So I think we can bolt this up and then we can lower this down so it's easier for me to work on it because I'm too short for this. That sounds weird. This is too tall for me.
You ready to heft that up all by yourself, Libby? How heavy is it?
200 pounds.
Don't you got to bend those ends down? I guess you can do it up there, huh? Make him hold it for a long time. Oh, he's losing it. He's losing it. Muscle fatigue again. Multitasking. Impressive.
She cleans up nice.
That's what they say about you. In those exact words.
I don't blame them. Wait a minute. This is a right. Okay? There's a right. And there's a right.
You're a regular Olivia Newton-John.
The black one. Nice. This is on backwards, but I don't care.
You don't have to hammer it, it's too loose.
Yep. This exhaust is gonna have to be hammered.
What you thinking about?
What am I thinking about?
Yeah.
A nap. Okay, Rudy, where do we want this? We just don't want it to hit the anything. Get the ground on here. Let's tack this on. And so the question is, are we just eyeballing this for the first one? And then we'll measure for the second. And then we'll measure for the second one. How centered is this axle? Oh, that's a good idea. We have the measurement. Lizzie wrote them down. Okay, so this one is 66, and this one is 66 and a half. 68 and an eighth?
Yep.
Okay. I'm thinking about right there. Why do we hate it right there? Anybody hate it? No, just leave it. So we are at 28 and a half. So I need two of those bars cut at exactly 28 and 1/2. Okay. We're gonna need to tack these in place. Okay, only up from here. I need this tire taken off. I'll help.
What a gentleman.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah.
She's gonna do it.
Another one.
I don't know where the lower links are gonna go yet. I don't know if they're gonna go behind the axle or below it. We've got to go under the drive shaft, and I want to be as high as reasonably possible up there just for my breakover ground clearance. So I got to get it out of my head. I'm not building a rock crawler. I'm building a recovery rig. Okay, are you there? Right there. Okay, but you're gonna be higher, Rudy. So we need to add a full 1 3/4 inches to this pipe.
It just blows my mind that I cannot find these dang lug nuts.
And I lost some lug nuts. I lost my lug nuts. I took all 8 of these off the other side and put them somewhere.
Well, I'll find them for you.
I don't know where they went. I have no idea. God, is it even?
I found them.
Rudy hit
moved
him.
them once.
Rudy.
We found them. No, Lizzie moved those once.
Oh, I did?
Yeah,
Rudy's
so
hat was
remember
on
we
him.
squizzled the wire and we took everything off? Remember we?
I know.
Yeah, that was mighty suspicious. You sneak over there and you like lift up the hat. I found him.
No, literally, I
They're
was
under
just
Rudy's
looking.
hat.
Oh, I
didn't
knew
even
that.
see them.
I didn't know you were looking for those like
Do you know how many times I've looked
Thank you,
already?
Ed. You get it?
Yep. You want another one?
Yeah. Okay. So the question is,
What about your driveway?
will it clear my drive line? More than possibly. It's gonna be close. Well, I'm gonna take the plasma cutter and I'm gonna cut some stuff out of the way here. We're gonna need a heck of a hammer in a minute. Ball peen hammers are fantastic, but they're not very good at hacking or prying. And in my style of fabrication requires a lot of hacking and prying. Okay, let's build this. Where's that other hot one?
Hot one.
Where's the parts we need? Good morning. So I was working on this truss and got it put in here. A lot of this is just tacked together because we're just figuring out geometry and stuff, but it's all good now. I made these out of cardboard so I can duplicate them with some 1/8 inch sheet metal. There's one right here. These ones on the back that go on the triangle. Anyway, that'll be super strong and we'll do that. But first, the first thing we're gonna do today is I'm gonna get the shock mounts so that we don't have to hold the axle up by this. The shocks will hold them up. People say you're not supposed to do that, but there's millions of shocks worldwide doing this job all the time.
We've never had an issue.
I've never had an issue. We're gonna be putting ORI struts on this, but they're back ordered. So we're gonna put it back together with the coil springs and the shocks. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're getting this on its wheels. So by the end of the day, this will be on its wheels, driving, ready to do recoveries if needed. The second our parts come in for the AC, this is going out, the Corvair's coming in, and we're gonna get the AC going because it's 111 degrees tomorrow. So when we put the Oris on this, we're not gonna need the shocks anymore. So I'm building these are temporary, building them out of scrap. They're not pretty, I don't even care. So I'm just gonna bolt these on right here. And then I'm gonna tack weld a little, I don't know, maybe 1 inch right there. It'll be super easy to break them off and polish it up clean. And then this just gets welded right there. A bolt does, it will go this way. So that's how we're doing that. Lizzie, you ready to weld?
Yes, I am.
Start right there and go all the way down underneath there and stop. How's that look? That'll do. Looks pretty good. Okay, we'll just let those dry for a minute. All right. Okay, Trevor, Jamie is bringing out a griddle for grilled cheese sandwiches for lunch.
Yes.
She just needs that spot cleared off for her griddle.
To get rid of this so that I can go get everything else.
Lunch is here.
I'm doing some with ham and cheese. Does anyone care?
How was your sandwich?
Fantastic.
Grilled cheese sandwich, tomato soup.
And where can someone get one of those tumblers?
Mattsoftrecovery.com.
So here's the deal. We are now in a panic. Looks like the Corvair's coming in for air tomorrow morning to get this back on the road today, because we've got to have it out and ready to work, because we're bringing the Morrvair in tomorrow morning and we're putting the AC in by lunch.
Fat chance.
It was super difficult to get it inside right here, but it doesn't look too bad from the inside. Except for this one. This one was a lot harder because the drive shaft is in the way. But this one doesn't look too bad.
So right
Just to hook
there.
the bolt in.
Yep. Look, yeah, all we're doing is hooking the bolts in. Okay, just weld it on with a nice dollop on both sides on each one.
Okay, now come weld this on. So you just weld wherever it's touching there, like, you know, an inch or 3/4 of an inch. We're gonna be taking this off when we put the Ories on. Now just reach up under there and get a spot.
I barely got it. There we go.
Tough but not cut through.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a second. That's definitely not an easy angle to get to. All right. That is definitely, we are definitely kludging them together. So remember, the Ori struts are not here yet. We need to suspend the banana. So we are hastily throwing in spring pockets and shock mounts, and we are designing them to be taken out quickly and easily. What do you think of that? All right, so for now, we've got the front axle done enough to work. We're trying really hard to figure out how we can get the AC, and we've got an adapter problem from standard AC to metric. We're using a Toyota evaporator, and if anybody gets any indication that I'm not a fan of Toyota, it's simply because they're so hard to kludge. And my whole life is about kludging things together. We've used a couple of Toyota parts on the Morrvair, and they've always been difficult to adapt. That's why. So to make this safe to use for recovery work, I've got to get these attached better. Unfortunately, they had to be low so they could make it under the drive shaft. They ended up a little lower than I wanted them, but it is what it is. We can work with it. The question is, how exactly are we going to brace this without plugging these holes, because we have to get to these holes to get the transmission mount. Not worried about it, it's just a consideration. So that's what you're going to see us do next, and cut. Okay, here's where we're at. While you were gone getting your transmission, I did this. You can come look at it. It's just a little extra bracing to...
Oh, would you look at that?
Yep. And then this isn't the finished product, but I'm putting these back in. These are just a little brace to tie this cross member to this one, to add some structure. I don't know if it's needed or if it even helps, but I had it before and it worked, so I'm just gonna put this back on, but we're gonna build a better skid plate. I don't know if I'm gonna build it off of this or if I'm gonna do something different, because this is a lot of beef right there. I don't know.
Somebody asked you where's the beef, so you're
Is it
showing
right
them.
there? Is it right here? Here's the beef. All right, so we have got this basically functional again. All of the basic functions except for the exhaust, but I will do a recovery with the exhaust like this. But it is basically functional, but I don't even know if we're tearing the Morrvair apart tomorrow. But either way, we are now going to put the tires on this without the springs. We're going to cycle it through its articulation. I kind of guessed and eyeballed everything. We haven't done any testing yet. We've done minimal measuring, so this is going to be a learning experience to see if this all works. That should be about ride height right there. Stop. Go down ever so gently. Stop. Okay, we have a clearance issue. What? It's not a serious one. This upper bracket for the original upper link is in the way. So we theorized that we were going to have contact problem between there and there, and we do. Okay, are you thinking that we're done other than the exhaust? So let's go take it for a test drive with the exhaust off. Like yay? Okay. All right, Trevor, jump in. Let's go for a ride. I don't want to melt that with the exhaust. You won't. If you do, it'll be awesome. I'm not awful.
It don't sound so bad in here.
Yeah. I told you we could do a recovery like this.
People on the outside might make fun of you.
Yeah. What would you say? Feels the same?
So far.
Good. Definitely leaning my way, which makes me think when we corrected the lean with the spacer on the back, the problem was really on the front.
Oh yeah.
Definitely riding smoother. Yep. Interesting. I would not have guessed that. I can imagine handling differences. Well, it's time for a high-speed run. Yeah, don't stop. Tighter, should. All those bushings were loose. Like every bushing. I had like 3/4 of an inch of play forward and back with all the bushings added up. That's all gone now. Now I've got,
whatever the bushing deflection is, but there's no slop in it. Yeah, this is capable of doing a recovery now.
So where we're at now, we've got the temporary coil buckets in, temporary shock mounts, waiting for those Ori struts. We've got the triangulated 4-link, the truss is done. We're working on the steering next. This is what we replaced. No.
So it went like right there,
Yep, that's how it used to go.
and now it's just
Now it goes on the floor.
worthless junk. Nothing has changed. Its value has not changed.
So the next step is gonna be complete disassembly of the front end, like everything, because there's lots going on with the cooling system, the steering, relocating some things. But that'll be next time.
Thanks for watching.